So when I hear of figures being thrown up, well, I've not had the privilege of analyzing those figures in terms of whether those the performances of the budgets we're talking about. But the reality is, you need to sustainably, continuously put money in power for you to continuously have electricity.
And that money it hasn't been consistently done, as you say.
That's the reason for privatization.
But when you came in, what difference did you think you were going to make?
Well, the difference we are making, because we're already making differences in leaps and bounds. If we're talking of 380, before now we're doing 1,100. That's a major, magnificent improvement.
Yeah, but
now what we've done is that, yes, we've put in so much to be able to get the system running. Now, equally, in terms of funding, what you need to do is to assess your machine for optimization purposes, for reliability purposes, for safety purposes. Now, when you've done all that, figures are allocated, values are allocated to each of these items of what you intend to do, and then you approach the funding institutions, the banks, for the purpose of getting loans.
Are they funding you?
Well, previously, yes, now, no.
Why? Because Nigerians are concerned. They're paying about 26 naira, 21 kobo per kilowatt. And the power situation appears to be deteriorating per day or per second, whichever one you want to take it. So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is this. Until recently, that we seemingly got a cost-reflective tariff, there wasn't any funding arrangement put in place to support whatever loan you're taking. A loan needs to be paid back. The banks need to see that, yes, this is viable, it's feasible, you can see that money is coming in, and that money, people are paying the price for what they are consuming. It's not just for you to set a tariff. Equally, it's for you not just setting the tariff, but equally ensuring that people pay for the total capacity they've consumed. So until you are able to oil the system appropriately to get people to pay for what they are consuming sustainably, continuously, you continue to have gaps.
Adeshina, I'm worried. You say banks are not in this with you as investors.
They were with us from the outset. I'll give you some other challenges we've not discussed. At the point of acquisition, the exchange rate was 157 to $1. Today, you and I know what it is. It's double. Now, most of the parts and equipment that we use to generate electricity are foreign-based. They are imported. Invariably, there is need for you to have forex to support whatever investment plan you have. Now, where you now have to receive your revenue in naira, the value that goes up and down so frequently, it creates a problem for whoever is going to fund you. That, look, there is need for clarity, there is need for certainty, there is need for predictability to be able to see precisely where you're headed. Now, when you have this challenge regarding, one, you can't procure the equipment because of the fact that the MITO, because it's a regulated business, this business is not one whereby I can just set a price of my own, says that the exchange rate is 199. And meanwhile, I can't get forex at 199. Two, even where I'm willing to pay more, for whatever reasons, I can't find it. One of my units is down. It's been down now for almost a year, and I've been trying my best possible to get it to come on stream. However, the forex required for it is not available. The Nigerian bulk electricity trader, who's the central pool, says that, look, the best I can do for you is 199. How there I can't get up 199? Who pays the difference?
It's really amazing that even investors in the power sector are going through what the individuals are going through. Just it was only yesterday we were talking about even to buy an ordinary app in your tablet. When the exchange rate comes to your account, it doesn't come at 199, which is supposed to be the bank rate. Is it that people still think that the parallel market, or let's use the word that a lot of people understand, the black marketers are still holding on to the price of the dollars?
Well, that's another subject entirely. Is for the economists actually to explain. However, I know that the price of forex as is going through so much of speculation. There is a lot of speculation going on and so much of sentiment. Appropriate pricing is missing, and I think we must find a way of getting an appropriate exchange rate to be able to move the nation forward, because like I said earlier, businesses and businessmen love predictability. We love clarity. We want to be able to take decisions on the basis of fundamentals we can see. Where those fundamentals are so varied, then there's a major problem, there's a challenge there for all of us.
So largely, can we infer then that this is largely the Forex policy challenge that's affecting banks not funding the sector at the moment?
Well, it's more of recovery of investment. And recovery of investment is predicated on, in generation particularly, on forex. If the forex is not there to support your business, you have a crisis. Even if it is there, at what price? It's a regulated business. 199, you have it at 340, 345, whatever, there's a gap. Who is going to compensate for that gap?
You know,
Now,
some people.
I'm just wondering, if the budget is passed and then the government will see their income and expenditure plan, maybe a resemblance of fiscal policy, is that going to help?
Of course, to a large extent, because again, that is clarity. But passing the budget is one phase, and is a very critical phase for that matter, because it tells you precisely where government is spending money, and then you can now begin to position your business along those lines. I love the fact that we're going through this challenge. Why? We have been a monocultural nation in terms of product. Now, getting out of it is the best thing that ever would happen to us. We need diversification.
And your sector holds the key.
Of course. Without power, you can't go anywhere. Which is why I like the fact that, yes, this is happening. Mining and solid minerals is something we're all going to be looking at. South Africa is doing as well as she's doing because of the fact of mining. Without mining, we would not be talking of the quantum of energy that they're doing in South Africa. So if we start to develop solid minerals and mining, it invariably means that those of us in the sector will have to hop our game and ensure that there's more generation to the system to be able to deploy for the mining sector.
You know, the other side of it is also the fact that some believe that you don't have competition, that's why you're lax, you're waiting for government to spoon feed you, when you knew what you were going into before you stepped in.
Okay, if we've moved from 380 to 1,100 without being spoon-fed, in spite of the challenges, then I think that statement is wrong. If we're all waiting, we would have returned our licenses to government as we speak.
Would you really?
Of course not.
You complain about the fact that you meant obsolete equipment and there's no funding, forex issues and all of that, so you find it difficult to change the equipment at the pace you would want to. But you knew these equipment were obsolete before you came in. You knew the state of things before you came in. It's not as if you didn't know, and you still decided to come in. So why would you be complaining about that?
Because at that material time, the parameters were clear.
Clear?
Very clear.
Who
at the
made
point
them?
of the
Who
government,
made them clear?
The government made clear parameters, gave clear parameters to us that, look, one, when you get in, we're going to give you cost-reflective tariff. When you get in, the contract we've signed, the PPAs, the GSAs will be honored. When you get in, at any point in time where there is escalation in the system, from a pricing perspective, from a cost perspective, we're going to take appropriate measure accordingly. So all these things were clear. Now, at the point of entry, we started witnessing a bit of changes here and there, not because of governments wanting to make life miserable for us, but because they are faced with challenges as well. Now we have a serious liquidity crisis on our hand. Shortfall between, one, the power generated and the amounts collected. There's a gap.
So government was having its own challenges and shifted grounds, and those it now backfired on you.
It backfired on us.
So now what you're doing is you're having challenges and you're shifting ground, so it backfires on the consumer. Is that the situation?
Not at all.
Because the consumer is wondering why he or she has to pay a higher tariff for no power.
You see, when we speak to what the consumer is getting, everybody fails to understand that we are consumers ourselves. Really? I'm a consumer and I'm paid exactly what everybody is paying. If you want growth in a system, if you want to cure unemployment in Nigeria, if you want to cure deindustrialization in this country, if you want to cure all the economic malaise we are all faced with, you need electricity.
So what?
And for you to get that, you need to pay the price.
What price now would you say should be paid across board so that we can have power?
Well, we've dealt with that issue because at least we have a cost-reflective tariff, 10-year model. I believe working with that, we're all doing our own internal readjustment in the light of what has been given to us to make sure that we're able to deliver on the promises we've made. For you to fuel the optimism of the people and get them to think of a better tomorrow and make this country greater and better, you need to have all these clear policies put in place and support of everybody.